Well, the Ontario election is underway, and I am depressed, at least on the federal scene in the figure of Pierre Poilievre. You have someone campaigning for freedom, and he has standing as a Harper MP and a member of parliament, and I think he's really resonating with the grassroots. I look at the incumbents in the province of Ontario. Doug Ford has been atrocious in his lockdownism. But if you look at the two mainstream opposition parties, the Liberal Party and the NDP, they're worse. The Liberal Party is making one of their central campaign pledges to bring back masks for school children. Well, there are some smaller parties that are challenging the election. The other day, we told you more about the New Blue Party and Jim and Belinda Karahalios. Well, another smaller party that believes in freedom is led by our friend Derek Sloan. It's called the Ontario Party, and he joins us now via Skype from north of Orillia. Derek, great to see you again. How are you?
Really good. Thanks for having me today.
Well, tell me about the campaign. The Ontario Party, it's a new party, only a few months old, if I'm not mistaken. Thrown into your first election, are you a candidate, and how many other candidates are running?
So I am a candidate. The party was actually founded in 2018, and they ran 5 candidates in the last election. We expect to have about 100 candidates, maybe more, by the time the cutoff tomorrow for candidates. And I am running in my home riding of Hastings, Lennox, and Addington, which I represented up until recently as a federal member of parliament.
And who's the incumbent there that you're challenging?
So the incumbent is actually retiring. His name is Daryl Cramp. So the new person running for the PCs is, again, a previously unelected member. And so hopefully that'll give us a leg up in that race.
Yeah. Well, I find it depressing that the Doug Ford, who calls himself a conservative, has been anything but. But the latest polls show that he's fairly strong. What are your goals? I didn't know that the Ontario Party had contested the last election. Thank you for that information. Fielding 100 candidates, what do you hope to achieve? I look at the federal level and I admire Maxime Bernier, but I don't, and I know he comes in second or third in a lot of places, and that means something, but he didn't punch through anywhere, including in his own seat. What do you hope to achieve on election day?
So we hope to win some seats. Obviously, we're fighting to win generally, but we're definitely going to be focusing resources on key seats that we think are winnable. Our hope is to win some seats. I think it's very important to have a voice in Parliament or the legislature, as the case may be. And we've seen that even with one voice, federally or even provincially, a lot can happen. A lot of good information can get out there.
Now, you yourself are fairly well known. You were an MP, and then you ran for the leadership of the Conservatives in the last time round. Are there any other candidates on your team that may be publicly known, star candidates, if I can use that phrase?
Yeah, so we have some really good candidates. And just to give you the sense of the type of people that want to put their name on the line, we have multiple doctors, we have multiple veterinarians. I think we have 6 engineers that are running. But in terms of actual sort of name brand candidates, we do have Rick Nichols, who is a multiple-time PC member of MPP from Chatham-Kent-Leamington, who is running under the Ontario Party. We have Tom Marazzo, who is a very high-profile leader, veteran as well, of the trucker convoy, and he's running for us. We have Bridget Belton, who is a trucker convoy leader as well. We have Kristen Nagel, who's a well-known nurse that will be putting her name forward. And there's many others. I don't want to suggest that the other candidates are not worth supporting either. But those are some of the more prominent ones, and it'll be exciting to see how this plays out.
Great. Listen, here's a question I would put to Randy Hillier. In fact, I did put this to Randy Hillier the other day. It's a question I would put to the Karahalioses if they were here right now. And it goes to splitism. And I know that everyone has a different opinion on things, and there's also personal disagreements. But between the New Blue Party and the Ontario Party, I see a lot of similarity in the basic philosophy of freedom and opposing the lockdown. But I can't help but feel that if there even is a chance of punching through in a riding or two, that if there are 2 smaller non-established, freedom-oriented parties, anti-lockdown parties, that they're going to, whatever freedom vote there is going to be split between the two of them. What do you think of that?
You know, I couldn't agree more. I think we need to have more unity. I can say on our part that we've reached out to the New Blue on multiple occasions. We published actually publicly a proposal that we sent to them privately, and that was not answered. And if they say the opposite, they know my phone number. I'm ready to talk anytime. I'd be happy to work together. Obviously, we're coming very close to this upcoming election, so it may be something for another time. But I think at the very least, there should have been some kind of arrangement to not run candidates against, prime candidates of the other party. And we would have been happy to do that. In fact, even though we haven't heard back from them, we're not planning on running a candidate against, for example, Belinda. We think that she deserves the respect to run unopposed. Unfortunately, they haven't taken that tack, and they're running a full slate against even some of our stellar candidates. All of that aside, I do feel, though, the approach needs to be a positive, uplifting approach. We've tried to do it that way, and I would really caution some of the other groups. Let's not do the character assassinations. Let's not do the mudslinging. Let's focus on the target. Let's focus on where we want to take Ontario. We've had enough destruction the last couple of years to last a lifetime. Let's focus on rebuilding the province.
That was an excerpt from my daily TV-style show called The Ezra Levant Show. Each weekday, I do a monologue on the news of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest. I read some fan mail or hate mail, depends on which I like more. And we end with a video of the day. You can get it all at rebelnewsplus.com.